Mandela could only look on with a frustrated detachment as the government and its opponents squared up.
This big L-shaped terrace on the roof of Pollsmoor was where Nelson Mandela and the others would spend most of the day. The walls are so high you can see only the sky, except in one corner where the ridges of the Constantiaberg mountain are visible. For Mandela, that bit of mountain was the tip of the iceberg of the outside world. It was on this rooftop that Mandela established his garden in the sky. 16 oil drums were sliced in half and used as containers for up to 900 plants. He was eventually supplying the prison kitchen with vegetables.
Christo Blunt, the affable warder who was transferred from Robben Island, helped Mandela get the garden going.
He was very keen. Every morning early up, he's there to see his plants. Then some insects attack his plants. Then we organize a sergeant.
Getting my bake on.
What are they from the garden service? To come and spray some poison or whatever to kill these small things on his tomato plants and things. But he was very keen on his garden. Every day he was with the garden, watering the garden, sitting there. We told him last time he mustn't look too much, the things won't grow because he must come away, but he was really keen on his garden.
We'll make some of them jars.
Blunt was the kind of warder that Mandela cultivated. The relationships he developed with the predominantly Afrikaner warders perplexed some of his fellow prisoners. But it was typical of Mandela's pragmatism. It's even been suggested that through these relationships, he was able to understand the mindset
very bright
of
out.
Afrikaners.
Big Dipper's right overhead.
In negotiations with the government.
Shouldn't be.
He never was
I couldn't
temperate towards the world. At the same time, he never
locate Orion.
He
might already said. I don't know.
He was always okay.
This guy look weird. But we took a big shift. I mean, the fucking sun was rising way north of where it has been this morning too. So we definitely shifted. Moon's still rolling.
No matter how cold they are,
So everything's normal.
And we do not want them to be associated with any cruelty. And this happened also with Afrikaners. There were some of them who were being dealt with.
This has been the week of 2010. I saw somebody on John's page talking about, oh my God, it's been going on for how long? I missed this? That's been going on all week. A bunch of people waking up and being like, damn, oops, how'd I miss that? Somebody hadn't pointed it out.
His daughter Zinzi at the Jabulani Stadium in Soweto, Mandela flatly rejected the offer while keeping open the option of negotiation.
It's still moving. It didn't roll for a few hours today or tonight, but it's still rolling. We were busy tilting, I think, and made it not roll. I don't know how that works, but it's still rolling. There was some question for a few hours today, though. John was like, man, that motherfucker wasn't rolling. I was like, we tilted. Sun's in a different position. Fucking Big Dipper's scary. Ominous right over my head, pouring the water on. Like, oh, shit. So yeah, if you watched it for those few hours, you probably didn't see it roll, but it's almost upside down again now. In my sky, I just looked.
This Cape Town hospital is part of South African history. Nelson Mandela underwent surgery here for an enlarged prostate gland in 1985. Dr. Mpata Motlana, Mandela family doctor, helped assemble a team of top medical experts.
We got a bunch of people in Europe watching it roll too. Just how you doing, Polly?
He chose the prisoner, a Dr. Lobster. We've been lucky enough to do more.
Although you will be seeing it at a different angle than I do, because you're up further north. But you're going to see it spin if you keep an eye on it.
P.W. Botha's government apparently showed unusual concern about Mandela's health.
Oh, good. I'd use another one. You got one in your pocket? Packed a nice little hash bowl. Get me started. But yeah, I'm going to be making some more jars this evening. Haven't decided what else. We'll be making stuff. Well, Iswal hasn't been on since yesterday. They've had it freeze framed. It's been sitting on the same frame for a long time now.
Reading between the lines, Mandela was convinced Coetzee was putting out feelings. After his operation, Nelson Mandela didn't rejoin his colleagues in their communal cell on the top floor of Polsmore. Instead, he was brought to this one, on the bottom floor, in the meantime. This nation was in sand, 3 rooms with their own toilet. And it was damp, musty, with little natural light. We don't even know why he had to relocated. You realize.
Believe me, I noticed that shit. Because that's, well, again, that's how I predict my quakes. I can tell what she's doing from watching the quake map, but I can't tell what the quake map's going to do from watching her at this point. Unfortunately. She's inducing right now. I can tell you that. I ain't even got his swap. Oh, fuck me. At least for the last couple hours, she's been inducing because the magnitude fell off real quick, like, and it's been repetitive, like little dings here and there for about 2 hours now.
It might become so bad, nobody will be able to control it. The government seems to be playing a double game. Brutally suppress political protests while toying with the idea that.
Yeah, it looks like she's about due for another 5-pointer somewhere.
Mandela decided he had to do something. He asked to see P.W. Botha to discuss the possibility of a negotiated settlement.
It's very clear that Mr. Mandela himself signed based on overture for the government then on security field to start a process of occupation. But he didn't consult. And he admits why.
I'm surprised they let it go down at all there, Pollyanna. After the last time, man, that director, he had a hard day. Pollyanna went and called him. I'm over there on his private fucking Facebook channel, freaking him out. Hey, what the fuck? Where's my swab, bitch? Polly's on the phone. Where the fuck's my Iswal, bitch? I was like, oh, fuck, what the fuck? Get Iswal running now! so they're throwing dingly cobras at me. Oh, shit. Yeah, and it's been blasting, huh? That's also in the news. Not a surprise there. Not a surprise. I don't think she's going to stop anytime until, the induction stops. I don't know when that might be. Probably not tomorrow. Well, yeah, we're setting records again. It's almost normal to set records in volcano, cow farts. It just figures. Right.
So that they know what is actually if they don't agree with what I'm doing, they'll say so. If they agree, they'll say so. I can't do so for now.
Yeah, Julie, sitting next to a caldera, but who isn't? I mean, that's just the thing to do nowadays. I think that's the in thing. Living next to a caldera. I live next to one, so don't feel special. I live about a state away from fucking Long Valley. It's one of the bigger ones. And it hasn't blown yet, although a few of the volcanoes go off every now and again, apparently, because they're volcanoes. But yeah, the caldera hasn't popped. Yellowstone's already popped. So's the one Etna's sitting on top of. At some point, I don't know when.
On the other side, we very clearly put the line, let us start negotiating while we are still in negotiation. Not like being smoked from the reason.
So how's that going, Paul? Oh, fuck.
There was a man who
So what we got? What's a buffalo fart worth in cow farts? I mean, is it getting two and a quarter for one buffalo fart? Just asking for a friend. Oh, fuck. That's messed up. She analyzes. Doing some figuring. Oh my God. That's hard.
Mandela took one line and he constantly
it's the super feed they're feeding the cows or something. I don't know. It's putting out them big cow farts behind us.
He started drafting a memorandum.
Yeah, it makes you wonder why they've had it down for a couple of days, doesn't it?
It was intended to create.
It must be the cow farts.
In it, it warned against the real danger of the race of war in South Africa and explained his objections to the government's three conditions for negotiations. In addition to the armed struggle, Mandela outlined the reasons why.
And each buffalo cow fart, or each buffalo fart, is worth way more than one cow fart. Gotta be. But look at a buffalo. She got big. You can't tell me their farts are little tiny squeakies. Yeah, I ain't buying it. Buffaloes just look like they got rancid parts, man. Look at them one time. Like, holy shit. Motherfucker, buffalo cow patties are as big as a cow. So, more buffalo, bigger farts. Yeah, the whole cow fart thing isn't adding up, is it?
Despite its obvious comforts in the fact that we see more people than ever, there's an only and frustrating fact.
The whole cow fart theory just doesn't add up.
It's to save the country from ruin. The party government wanted to extract what they could from it.
But neither does the whole vaccine thing either.
There were other reasons.
If you just take a simple look at what's happening to the people that are getting the vaccine, it's way worse than fucking this COVID thing. I mean, like right on the surface of it, it's like, oh my God. I think I'd rather have COVID 18, 19, and 20 than that fucking shot.
I'm talking about them talking to you. At the time, Maharaj headed up Operation Una, a group of ANC leaders who had infiltrated South Africa to help give direction to the growing political uprising.
He wishes he could dim down the sun. It's too bright. They're just trying to kill the radiation coming in so the transformers stay alive so everybody stays in their screen. You're easier to control. You're easier to tell that it's COVID causing the fucking shortage at your grocery store. It's government incompetence. It's X, Y, or Z. Anything other than, holy fucking shit, we're out of food. The corn went 2 foot high and died because we got way too much light at night. They ain't getting a resting cycle. The corn died in the fields for fucking globally.
Which I was apparently inserted.
What are you gonna eat? What you got? You got something in your pocket? What are you gonna eat? There ain't no motherfucker. Ain't gonna be no corn in your shit. Oh shit. Yeah, you need a more sound theory, right? Undersea methane leaks. Well, you know, that's the that's the whole mainstream narrative for today. Seems. Like I said, they'll fucking throw an excuse at anything, but like weather mods and all that, dues, and you know, that's not what's going on. They would love you to think so. They fucking get off on you thinking that's what's causing it. Because you're easily controlled that way. And the more fans Gina has, the easier population is to fucking get there. And the more stupid shit they can throw at them. Oh, look at Jesus. We can throw some real stupid shit at the population now, and they go and just fucking swallow it. And fucking Cheese Whiz made for fucking the spiders on Mars. Or is it the moon? She got spiders somewhere. Oh yeah, yeah. The vegetables are already starting to become, pollyanna. I said, what, last 2 days I've been giving people a 2-week warning.
Fine. Even on the other hand, this whole process because of history. I feel very strongly.
Yeah, I'm glad you bought some too. You're probably gonna need some seeds.
I respect the quality of other times.
Mandela was smuggled into the president's office. The security policeman told he was a politician from an African state.
And if you're growing, make sure you have a dark cycle, like you can cover your plants at night, because there's too much UV at night. They are not getting a resting site. You'll waste your seeds. Don't waste your seeds. Make sure they're dark at night.
So I saw these shoelaces right and
to Mandela's surprise, it was the convivial council. He didn't was that even thought to see.
It was a very good meeting. They were talking about the health and about the peaceful process, but very deliberate. From both sides, they from tackling issues which they both knew and see the future. They would perhaps become involved in the argument.
The meeting was photographed by
Yeah, well, I'm just, I don't know if you noticed, but they recalled an awful lot of vegetables this year because the seeds were growing inside the fruit. And the corn, in general, died. Because the nighttime is too bright. So if you're going to grow anything at all, I would grow it and make sure you can make it dark at night. That's all I'm saying. And if you don't, it's more likely not going to go well for you. It's just, that's where you're at. You can grow wheat or tomatoes, they'll grow real big, but they ain't going to fruit very much because they don't get that cycle change.
Mandela was stuck past all the points. It's regarded as breakthrough negotiations, but important in another respect. The president had long talked about the need to cross the Rubicon. They believed now finally done this. There was no taking back.
Avocados, gotta love them.
He wasn't able to see it through. 6 weeks after meeting Mandela, he went on television. He angrily announced his resignation, claiming that his colleagues were undermining him. There was initial uncertainty whether his successor, F.W. de Klerk, would do what was needed to be done to resolve South Africa's political crisis.
Well, you being further north, you're going to get more of the bright night, I'd imagine. I love both of those too. That's some good food right there.
To show he meant business, de Klerk had to release the ANC leaders without conditions.
The government was saying this to it, what do you do? The political so you call and the one that I saw from us. That I saw was because we were not individual, not individual. Our conduct was going to be governed by the feeling of our people. He said we are not committing ourselves to anything. We want to release our release, all of us. And we are not going to be released and leave Mandela. Because after Mandela had seriously succeeded, the church started to stop. That there should be If you see a steer twisting the water and the stool there, realize that. And you have also been assured by the authority that soon after our release will follow us.
No,
When you accept our release, then they release. And let you know that 4 months later,
it's always good to have local food. I live surrounded by fucking desert. The cows don't even have much to eat around here. The grazing grasses didn't do very well this year, so the cows are kind of like eating bramble brush when they're pushing them through the feedlots because the feedlots don't have silage for them, and they're just rushing them into butcher. Smart move. Get your food while you can, because it's coming. The wave is coming. People are going to not rush for toilet paper anymore. They're going to start rushing for rice and beans because the other vegetables are gone. And once people start walking into the grocery store and noticing what Polly's talking about, and what I'm looking at a grocery shortage in my own shelves, too. And it's going to get worse, and people are going to notice. See, we're looking for it, but when people walk in, they start seeing signs again, like they was right before harvest last year. You're gonna be like, uh-oh. Might want to buy some fucking rice and beans, and then the rice and beans are gonna be gone. Hey there, Miss Raymond, how you doing? Ovaltine's powder. It's fucking rich and chocolatey and delicious. Well, it is. And I like it. Well, the whole genre of plant life is going kind of crazy right now. We got middle of winter, people having cherry blossoms and all that shit, and now all of a sudden it's fucking froze out, and sure gonna bud back again here soon. I think I'm gonna be in almost 60 tomorrow. Not for sure on that. I haven't checked my forecast for a while, but I think tomorrow is supposed to be a warm day. Temperature La Junta.
It's 31 degrees in La Junta right now.
31 right now. Yeah. 59 tomorrow. 59. 60 on Tuesday. Yeah, it bounces a little bit down to 39 and 19, and then I'm back up to fucking 50s again. Till next week. The week after, I'm about to bet you it's going to get cold as fuck. Because that's how it's been running. And I don't expect it to stop doing that. Just because we don't like it. I grew a lemon tree once. It got about 4 foot tall and died. I grew another one. It got about 3 foot tall, and I gave it to my buddy Jim. And I think he said he was fucking getting lemons off of it already. So good for it. I didn't keep it. I made a avocado tree once too. It was about 2 foot tall out in the seed, and it took it about 2 years to. I was bummed with it. Yeah, I planted mine from the seeds too. Nice. Yeah, we were out in Fresno, so he had a pretty good climate there too. Corpus Christi be good climate for lemon trees. I took the one that we kept to Aunt Angel's up in North Carolina. It didn't like it. What's up, Kat? How you doing? Good morning. Well, if you're bringing them in the house, yeah, it is a good thing if they're still small. Everybody's getting warm this week. Look at that. We're going to be cold again next week. By the end of next week, probably. Sometime around Friday, it started getting cold. Not this Friday, next just long enough to get the plants confused and start to sprout again. And freeze up like Christmas. Wrench is in the house, look out. Club and commence. Adjusting them nuts. Start with the fucking head nut. I wanted to listen to this one. So I'm going to turn it off. Someone listen to that one blown by. World War One. Destruction, mayhem, limbs flying, industrial warfare, beginnings. To adjust my nuts? Yeah, why, damn it. I made a mistake, didn't I? I kind of did. Kind of did. I didn't realize what I was saying, though. he put that wrench in your pocket and like, shit. Got myself in the corner. I'm blaming Mary. Oh. First thing I want to do is a big old jar. And now I want to do a medium sized jar. Now I want to do I want to do stuff in the thing with one of my flat blanks. I haven't decided what I want to make in it though. Oops. We'll figure that out when we come to it. Make new marbles. Pretty marbles. Yeah, I've got a pretty marble upstairs I made the other day. I think I showed y'all. I don't remember. That's it. Uh-oh. My hair. I just took off my hat. My hair's all standing up. The Pollyanna wants the super glue and duct tape. Again. I'm scared. Duct tape. That'll grip up on anything. You know what they say about that. I got 2 rolls of it over here, just in case. Yes, Pollyanna. He threatened me with your wrench over there, and he's threatening to adjust my nut. And now you want the duct tape because I feel a beating coming on. She's like, I got a wrench. Okay, it's just a teeny wrench. It ain't meant to fucking wrench much. But it works in the shop pretty good. Because it's I don't need anything bigger than that. I like my little wrench. It's just the right size tool. Oh fuck! I threw it on the ground. They get squirrely. Yeah, I know, right? Oh God. I gotta make some MaryWanna jars. God, that's some good MaryWanna. I swear it tastes like birthday cake. Oh shit. I don't know. Maybe wedding cake. You say wedding cake, it tastes like birthday cake. Coffee. Oh shit. It's too early for coffee. No puppy poop. That's no fun. Yay! Congratulations. Puppy might be getting old enough. It can hold it all night now. All right. So let's start this World War I documentary. We might graduate to some heavy metal here in a little bit. Uncertain. But I do know. Well, there's that. Huh. What did I say? About half an hour? Well, let's see. I said about an hour, so that was about 49. Well, it hit in the fucking, but it was a 4.9. Wasn't a 5. So she must still be inducing heavy because they're still small. Told you we would do, didn't I? I didn't even see where it hit. I just saw the magnitude. It wasn't anywhere probably in the Philippines somewhere. I don't know. I didn't look. Dude, pop hard, new game. Look. I was like, there it is. I didn't say where it was going to hit either, did it? Because I ain't got no this was.
There were places of fear and bad smells, where walls might be shored up with limbs and corpses, but they were the safest places to be in a battlefield swept by machine gun fire, devastated by shelling. The greater danger came when you left them. The popular image of First World War soldiers is lions led by donkeys.
but the generals knew that that was only one from behind a fence. Sooner or later, the men would have to go over the top, and that meant heavy casualties. The generals weren't so much callous as realistic. And there were more good generals than bad. Rather than sitting out the war in chateaux miles behind the line, 71 German generals were killed in action, 55 French, 78 British. The general's response to the deadlock was to challenge it, to find dynamic ways to beat it. In 1916, both sides looked for a place to break through, where an attack could be concentrated and supplied. The Germans thought they'd found it at Verdun. A town and mighty fortress on a salient, a ton of France sticking out into the German lines. Verdun looked secure, with its huge walls, its giant circle of 19 forts, with their outer ring of defences. But the French had now downgraded Verdun's status, removing many of its guns to media sites. For the French garrison, it was becoming known as a cushy sector.
We have almost nothing to worry about. We often play cards, and sometimes we have to drop them and pick up our rifles. It's usually a false alarm, so we go back to our seats and our cards. Our minds completely on the game again.
But Parliamentary Deputy Émile Drian, now a frontline colonel, realised how vulnerable Verdun really was. He warned the French government.
We are doing everything day and night to make our front line inviolable. But there is one thing about which we can do nothing. The shortage of hands. If our front line is broken by a massive attack, our second line won't hold. Lack of workers, and also hard wine.
But Drian was ignored. On Monday the 21st of February 1916, a clear, still winter's day, over 100,000 German soldiers drew breath and prepared to go over the top. They had surprise on their side. Above them, they had air superiority. No Allied planes had spotted their preparation. Behind them, their own German artillery opened fire. But in front of them in the French lines, Corporal Marc Stéphane could hardly believe what was happening.
We were swept by a storm, a hurricane, a tempest growing ever stronger, with hail like cobblestones, with the destructive force of an express train. We're underneath it, do you follow? Underneath it.
The Germans fired 1 million shells that day.
When a shell bursts a few meters away, there's a terrible jolt, and then an indescribable chaos of smoke, of earth, of stones, of branches, and too often, alas, of limbs, flesh, a rain of blood.
By 3 o'clock in the afternoon, the section of the wood which we occupied and which in the morning was completely covered with bushes looked like the timber yard of a sawmill. A little later, I'd lost most of my men.
The Germans were evolving new solutions to the problems of attack. They delegated command forward to the men at the sharp end, training them to advance in small groups, zigzagging and crouching, equipped with fearsome new weapons, light mortars, grenades and flamethrowers. They called these units
Stormtroopers. We moved forward from our position. That's where I saw the most refined weapon of modern technology or human bestiality. There was a spurt of flame, which flooded the attacking enemy with burning oil. Verdun was one of the defining battles of the 20th century. Among the attacking Germans was a young Lieutenant Paulus, who, as a general in the Second World War, would command the siege of Stalingrad. 25-year-old Charles de Gaulle was also there, France's future leader, wounded and captured defending Verdun. On the second day of the attack, at his headquarters, Colonel Drion received absolution from his chaplain and wrote a note to his wife.
The hour is near. I feel very calm. In our work, the front trenches will be taken in a few minutes. My poor battalion spared until now.
He sent a message to his divisional commander.
We shall hold out against
Sign of life. Blood was flowing from a head wound and from his mouth. He had the color of a dead man.
Three days later, the Germans captured Douaumont, Verdun's key fort. Germany was jubilant. Church bells rang out. A national holiday was declared. In France, Drion's heroic sacrifice helped spark the flame of national defiance. Verdun was to be held at any cost. The survival of France herself was at stake. They shall not pass, declared General Philippe Pétain, Verdun's new commander. He rotated his troops. 3/4 of the French army at one time or another defended Verdun, a national effort that ensured whole units were not totally destroyed in the battle. Pétain was genuinely concerned for the lives of his men. A quarter of a century later,
You don't want to know what I'm like.
surrender and collaboration with Hitler, rather than repeat the bloodbath of Verdun. Route Nationale 93. An ordinary French road, but it saved its country's life.
It's going to be color changing.
Night and day,
Silver
supplies from Verdun rolled along the Bois Sacré, the sacred way, as well as by rail. Events on another front also cost the French at Verdun. At the end of 1915, the Allies, Britain, France, Italy and Russia, had agreed a plan for 1916 to pull Germany in different directions. Now the deal paid off. The successful Russian offensive forced Germany to switch troops from France to the Eastern Front. From June, the initiative at Verdun passed to the French. And Germany's technical advantages were short-lived. Throughout the war, new ideas were quickly picked up by the other side. All our inventions seem to turn like evil spirits against us, like a monster destroying itself. Amid these terrible scenes of destruction, the idea of ever returning home seems indescribably glorious. Be forgotten as well. Your soul and your body all very fine.
Hans Mark was killed later that day. Finally, on the 24th of October 1916, the French recaptured Fort Durmont. Verdun was saved.
At last, the time had come, and we set off to conquer the enemy positions. They don't offer any resistance, and the few men who are still alive come out of their holes crying, "Camarade!" The battlefield of Verdun has a different atmosphere from any other I was ever on. Its horrors are also greater. But there's a feeling of intense satisfaction. It was at Verdun that the French people found themselves again and emerged from the clouds which had hung over them since they were beat by the Germans in 1870.
France had learned a string of lessons at Verdun about artillery, new weapons, logistics, and manpower. But at a cost of over 1/3 casualties. German casualties were nearly as high, but Germany, fighting alone in the West and with weak allies on other fronts, could not endure losses on this scale. She would not launch another major offensive on the Western Front until 1918. One can look for miles and see no human being. But in those miles of country lurked thousands of men, planning against each other perpetually some new device of death. Never showing themselves, they launched at each other bullets, bombs, aerial torpedoes, and shells. Unlike previous wars, the fighting on the Western Front was unceasing. Somewhere down the line, there was always a gun firing, a man falling. But for the troops of both sides, life was not always unrelenting warfare. During 1916, the average British soldier spent 100 days at the front. For the remainder, he was in reserve, on work visa, resting, or on leave. And over the 500-mile front, some sectors were easier than others. Even busy ones had their lulls. One day, British General Lord Edward Blyton visited the front line.
When going round the trenches, I asked a man whether he had had any shots at the Germans. He responded that there was an elderly gentleman with a bald head and long beard who often showed himself over the parapet. Well, why didn't you shoot him? Shoot him? Said the man. Why, Lord bless you, sir, he's never done me no harm. A shocking example of live and let live.
Live and let live was a pervasive phenomenon on both sides of accommodation with the enemy. It arose because in quiet times and in quiet lines, men were learning to adapt to war and to adapt war to them. We sometimes got out of the trench into the tall grass behind, which was so dry, and enjoyed a warm indolence with a book. Not infantry training, I think. The war seemed to have forgotten us in that placid sector.
Quand l'école s'achève sur Paris, C'est à la cave, mais à l'abri, se retrouve là, en pyjama, un temps de sur des pliants, de l'eau sur dans un angle obscur, qui dernièrement a poussé étonnant, je vois que pourquoi, madame Odafoua, brillait à cette fois. Tiens, moi, contre moi, tiens, moi, contre moi, tiens, moi, tiens, il faut la douilla, et tout ce que j'ai peur.
I'm with officers and sergeants who are great fun. There's lots of schnapps and wine, and every day we get so drunk we forget whether we're at war or in city speak.
Alors, qui est le lendemain, dans deux jours pleins, et puis le train, le cœur léger.
In my age, there was a piano actually in the trench in the front line. We had many of those things on.
À quelle vitesse je perds.
I feel great. I have never lived so well, and probably never will again. I've just joined our sports book. This evening someone got a football. Now we can play football, racing, long jump. Chocolate is the prize, donated by our platoon commander. Life in this sector is gloriously lazy. Weather is perfect. The enemy most peaceful. And there's little to do but lie on one's back and smoke, or write imaginative letters back home.
It would be child's play to shell the road behind the enemy's trenches, crowded with log and ration wagons and watercrafts, into a blood-stained wilderness. But on the whole, there is science. After all, if you prevent your enemy from getting his rations, his remedy is simple. He will prevent you from drawing yours.
You often see the smoke of the Germans' mealtime fires ascending in blue-grey spirals. It is only common courtesy not to interrupt each other's meals with intermittent missiles and hate. One day while our infantry was cooking, there was a shout from the enemy trench. Could he come and eat too? He was invited over. The Frenchman came and ate and made himself comfortable. And from then on, whenever the Frenchman noticed that food was ready in the German trenches, he came and joined in.
Sometimes an officer tried to turn his men into a little action. How about posting a sniper or lobbing over a grenade? We received the following message tied to a stone from the German trenches officer. We're going to send a 40-pounder. We've been ordered to do this, but we don't want to. It'll come this evening, and we'll blow a whistle first to warn you so that you have time to take cover. All right, let's listen to it.
The sniper is a very necessary person. He serves to remind us that we are at war. Wherever a head or anything resembling it shows itself, he fires. Were it not for his enthusiasm, both sides would be sitting upon their respective parapets, regarding each other with frank curiosity. And that would never be.
British Directive, March 1916. With trench warfare, there is an insidious tendency to lapse into a passive and lethargic attitude, against which officers of all ranks have to be on their guard, and the fostering of the offensive spirit calls for incessant attention.
Live and Let Live was dependent on the sector and the troops manning it. The Germans didn't like facing the Highland Regiment. The British couldn't get along with the Prussians. But some of the other Germans were fine.
The soldier might get some useful things. It's the Saxons that's across the road, he said, pointing to the enemy lines which were very silent. They're quiet fellows, the Saxons. They don't want to fight any more than we do. So there's a kind of understanding between. Don't fire at us, and we'll not fire at you.
Live and Let Live did not occur where elite regiments were operating. They had their own ideas about getting at the enemy. Rare footage of a daylight raid by South African troops. The idea was to dominate no man's land. To say to the enemy, it's not no man's land, it's ours. Raids broke up trench routines, brought intelligence from prisoners, encouraged aggression. This British High Command thought was the cure for Live and Let Live. Training sessions were organised using elaborate models of the target area. Raiding became compulsory for all regiments, and laggers were rooted out. Higher ranks appeared in our midst. Chief of all, the Brigadier General, followed by an almost equally menacing staff captain. What was my name? I had not been round the company's wire. Why not? I was to go. Reports of daring raids were duly submitted. But some at HQ, like Brigadier General Crozier, smelt a rat.
It became increasingly difficult as time went on to obtain correct reports from officers of patrols. It was my habit to order samples of German wire to be cut and brought back. Thus one would know that the German line had been visited.
At least one squad of reluctant raiders had an answer to that. They found a large coil of German barbed wire in no man's land and just snipped bits off, sending them in with bogus reports. That went on every night. The old man never knew we had a coil of Fury wire on our side. Many, though, entered the spirit, proudly displaying their trophies. Raiding and shelling helped put the war back into the gaps between battles. One night in May 1916, Siegfried Sassoon joined a raiding party into no man's land.
The raiders vanished into the darkness and were forward. I called out after them. Shells started to fire. News came back. O'Brien says it's a washout. They can't get through the wire. Bomb burst. Then a concentration of angry flashes. Wounded men were crawling back. Among them a grey-haired Lance Corporal who had one of his feet almost blown off. Thank God for this. I've been waiting 18 months for it. Now I can go home.
Sassoon's raid was launched from these trenches. The objective, this rig. But it all went badly wrong.
I went to look for O'Brien, groping my way along the edge of a crater. Bullets hit the water near me. There I discovered him. He moaned. He'd been hit several times. The stretcher bearer bent over him, and he straightened. In a surprising gesture, he took off his helmet. O'Brien had been one of the best men in our company.
Shelling was the biggest killer of the war. Live and let live continued on and off, but the loss of comrades made it increasingly difficult to sustain. Speaking for my companions and myself, I can categorically state that we were in no mood for any joviality with Jeremy. We had things to discuss. He was bent on his destruction at each and every opportunity. Our greatest wish was to be granted an enemy target worthy of our biggest machine gun.
Beer glass.
You were on the shelf. Some of the men looked quite insane.
Color change beer glass.
As we entered the German trenches, a great number came out asking for rest. Needless to say, they were shot lightly. The Royal Scots took about 300 prisoners and immediately shot the whole war.
There were many cases on both sides of prisoners being killed after surrender. Such atrocities fueled hatred further. But many prisoners were captured. They provided excellent opportunities for propaganda. British newsreel film of German POWs was used to convince audiences back home that Britain was gaining the upper hand. By the end of the war, there were nearly 9 million prisoners in total, and captivity was not their only hardship.
It's already been 2 years since you were here last, and Mother Nature needs to fulfill her urges again. As you can't come and see me, I'm forced to go looking elsewhere. Don't think I'm joking, I'm serious. I don't care what you think of me, but you can't expect me to waste my youth like this. After all, I'm not made of wood, and what a person needs, a person must get. Please don't trust me, really. Your ever-loving Thelma. Your sweet children send you lots of love.
Another German wife was careful to reassure her absent husband.
We've got a real slut in our house who's always got someone new with her. That bitch isn't good enough for such a decent man. The poor thing fights at the front, while she swans off to the cinema and the pub with the other fellas back home. Dearest man, please don't think evil thoughts, because there are also good women who are faithful to their men.
Letters from home were the soldier's lifeline. German troops were offered these beguiling colour postcards to reassure loved ones that they were comfortable, happy and safe. But news from the front was rarely so cosy. A German factory worker, learning that her husband had been killed, wrote to her boss to resign.
My beloved husband worked here for years, and I did the same work with his tools, and I was proud that while he was fighting at the front, I could represent him. It was not always pleasant in the factory, but my husband's letters gave me courage. And so, until his death, the job was sacrosanct to me. That's why I can't do it anymore.
More and more women in Germany, France and Britain were making munitions. Many men were contemptuous of women's abilities to do their jobs, and fearful that if they managed it, the women might not clear off after the war. Jeannie Riley wrote to her husband at the front about her new job.
We were told that the amount of work we do in 3 weeks would have taken the men 3 years. And Jamie, the men are getting quite mad at us. One woman I work with, well, she lost her finger in a machine in the works. But she had a tough one. When she came back from the Western Infirmary, she carried on like nothing had happened. I have to get up at 4:30 every morning. So I'll have you up at the same time when you come home. I've got to stay safe.
Now, Jeannie's husband, Jamie, did come safely home.
They did say that's a German lady, right?
The most important battle Jeannie Riley and her colleagues were working towards in 1916 was the Somme.
Just saying.
It's now a byword for wholesale suffering and slaughter, but its architect, General Sir Henry Rawlinson, conceived it as an offensive with limited objectives, more dependent on guns than manpower.
Let's say a lot.
With plenty of guns and ammunition, we ought to be able to avoid the heavy losses which the infantry have always suffered on previous occasions.
The French were due to play the lead role, but with Verdun dragging on, the British bore the brunt. And there was intense political pressure to deliver a victory. General Sir Douglas Haig was the British Army's commander-in-chief. He turned Rawlinson's plan into a major offensive. When the British guns opened up on the Somme on the 24th of June 1916, the windows rattled in London 160 miles away. But after 7 days of bombardment, the British artillery had neither silenced the German guns nor destroyed their defences. A sergeant of the Tyneside Irish went over the top on the 1st of July, with lines of men on either side of him.
I heard the patter of machine guns in the distance. By the time I'd gone another 10 yards, there seemed to be only a few men left around me. By the time I'd gone another 20 yards, I seemed to be on my own. Then, I was hit myself.
Farmers around the Somme still gather a harvest of iron for the French army to collect and defuse. In this war, what happened in the factory directly affected the outcome on the battlefield. 30% of British shells fired on the Somme were dug, a drastic failure of quality control. But the key factor was that there weren't enough heavy guns, and British artillery wasn't much good. On that terrible first day, it became clear that the French knew what they were doing, and the British did not.
The French artillery in their attacks did not shoot the ground to bits before they moved over it. A short, intense bombardment, followed by a rush of men, gave them the position clean and intact. We would shoot our ground into a quagmire and then send troops slowly forward over them and expect them to provide their own cover from the enemy's retaliation.
On the 1st of July, the French gained all their objectives at a cost of a few thousand men. Britain achieved virtually nothing, with casualties of 57,470. It was the heaviest loss suffered in a single day by the British Army in its entire history. There had been a host of lessons for both sides since 1914, and the British became avid learners. How to lay down shell fire over the heads of the branching men. How to locate enemy guns using flash spotting, sound rangers, and trigonometry. And how to knock them out. Better shells, better cruisers, better guns with better gunners. While the Germans seem to rely more on skilled infantry, often acting on their own initiative, the British concentrated on fighting a tactical war. It was all too late for the storm. Haig was bearing the responsibility for not stopping the slaughter when the breakthrough failed. The battle ended out in November 1916, with around 500,000 casualties on each side. Cornbread Northern France, on the 20th of November 1917, despite the first major use of tanks in the world. Here, the British Army would put what they had learned into practice. Britain's invention of the tank cracked the key to a World War problem: how to combine firepower and movement. Tanks needed dry, hard ground. They got it at Cambrai. The attack was led by a general from the front.
A live figure strode up, pipe aglow, ash stick under his arm. Unexpected, it was General Ellis. "I'm going over in this tank," he announced, cabin view. I swung the door open, and he squeezed through inside.
The artillery now knew not to chew up the ground ahead. A short, sharp bombardment, and then over 300 tanks rolled into the first light. Just before 6:30 a.m., the barrage commenced, and we started off. Our first bump came fairly soon. We climbed the bank, crashed through a hedge, and came down heavily on the other side. We were thrown about like so many peanuts, and we had to clutch on to whatever we could.
The tanks, looking like giant hay, became visible against the skyline. Some of the leading tanks showed huge bunds of tightly bound brushwood as they dropped into the wide German trenches and crossed over them. It was broad daylight and crossed no man's land in the German front line. I saw very few wounded coming back and a few German prisoners. The enemy wire had been dragged about like old curtains. The tanks appeared to have busted through.
The tanks, still experimental, were part of one of the most sophisticated derivative plans of the war. The aim was to break through the German lines with minimal loss of life. The artillery would use their new skills and technology to locate and target the German batteries before the battle. The tanks would punch a hole in the German lines, which instantly cut us through for mutual protection, while the cavalry pushed through. Secrecy was crucial.
They worded that, don't they? Huh?
Telltale tracks.
Yeah, I heard that.
The question ever uppermost in all our minds was...
Tanks were invented to break through the German lines with the least amount of loss of life. And I'm all like...
About 9 a.m.
What's wrong with that statement?
Gave us an account of
Anyone?
of tanks. So many.
Anyone?
Absolutely impossible to stop.
For my math,
a little later, the tank monsters.
There's a fucking lot of Germans gonna die from that tank coming through the fucking line. But I'm just wondering, do German lives matter?
Then, a dramatic indication that real progress.
I'm getting an indication that probably not at this point. Did you hear that? He said the tank he designed it so it didn't kill no. It said nobody died. Except for the fucking Germans.
Then at a gallop, battery after battery, to take up new positions on the captured.
I didn't make it up. He did. Don't get mad at me. Man, my face is sunburned. That was some hot work, huh?
The Germans were caught
on the man.
Then pushed back 5 miles. The greater Allied advance than anything achieved on the Somme or in Flanders.
I think German lives count.
It was a long, hard day. The sight of all the ground that had been taken with so little bloodshed was a real tonic. The troops seemed very pleased with our tanks. So pleased we had many drinks with them. It's astonishing how much whiskey the British Army carries into battle.
That's because you got tanks to run everybody over with.
On the 31st of December, church bells rang out across Britain. Just as they
hey, boys, let's drink!
And again, the celebrations were a little hasty.
Yay, war!
The British had not achieved all their objectives.
Oh my God.
Some villages left in Bray remained in German hands, including Presquier. The Highlanders in this sector had been ordered to keep well away from the newfangled tanks, so they couldn't help them by knocking out machine gun nests and artillery.
I'm just listening to the narrator over here, and I'm hearing a little bias on the part of Great Britain over here.
A tank emerged from the village.
But yeah, I think they were in Africa first.
Fire. Very close.
Maybe on the Western Front. I don't know. I don't know what they're talking about right here. Like I said, I'm just laughing at what he's saying. Just the nature of a tank says I'm gonna fucking mayhem. That homie's all hailing the least loss of life, and I'm all like, yeah, he's on your side, but they don't designate any of that. They just kind of leave the other side out of the conversation completely.
In the sudden silence, you could hear the thud of falling shell and metal and earth striking the sides of the tank. The atmosphere in the tank was flat.
And then when they had the German lady speaking, she had like an Irish accent or some shit. I was like, that ain't German.
Ignoring all the profit advice, they give it a good hard no.
I'm sorry, I'm just... I'm bad. Don't pay attention to me.
The Germans knocked out 32 tanks of Presquier.
Oh, shit. So how you doing there, dude?
In the narrow streets of Fontaine, Notre Dame.
Hey, it's Monday officially. I ain't telling nobody. It's still Sunday night for me.
And I, who had spent 3 weeks before the battle thinking about its possibilities, had never tackled the subject of village fighting.
What? Somebody going to bed? Uh-oh.
I could have kicked myself
Good night.
again and again for this lack of foresight. But it never occurred to me that our infantry commanders would thrust tanks into such moves.
King of obvious, maybe.
I don't know. Attacking the tanks with
the king of obvious.
9 tanks rolled.
I was just saying to this week, I've seen like 3 or 4 people just this week talking about, wow, it's been going on that long.
Rapid fire. The first tank wheels up. Those following halt.
Yeah.
One direct hit.
Yeah, I know it's hard to believe, but I mean, it has. You can look, I've been screaming about it since I got online on my Facebook.
The Germans launched a massive counterattack with stormtroopers supported by aircraft. Within 10 days,
So the Inuits,
they recovered all
the Inuits started about the same time I did too.
If Cambrai was
you know, they probably know the night sky better than NASA.
teamwork on the battlefield. The big challenge for both sides now.
At least they did. Fuck, man, I'm telling you, I went out there and I looked to turn on my oxygen, and I was like, well, okay, what the fuck? Because the Big Dipper's straight above my house, and it shouldn't be straight above my fucking house. That Big Dipper should never be straight above my house. It's straight above my house. And then over here, I ain't even looking at Orion. I'm all like, where the fuck is Orion? And he was just out there last night. I know he didn't jump around. It must be us. So we've taken another tilt on our ass, and that I started getting red flags this morning when I was up and fucking saw the sun rising coming up over here in the northeast, and I was all like, well, that's a far cry from fucking where it's been rising. So yeah, everything's correlating. The night sky is telling me the same thing the day sky is telling me, but I haven't figured out, fuck's sake, what direction we tilted or not. John says his observation of the moon, it froze for a couple hours tonight and then continued to roll. And I looked at it later and it was definitely rolling. So, we tilted. Yep, so glad you seen the same thing. We tilted. Which direction for sure? Fuck, I don't know. That way. Because the sun went like that. That means we tilted that way. How that works? I don't know. I don't have the math on that. I haven't worked it. I ain't even. Guess what? Guess what? Guess what? I ain't even gonna. You can't. I didn't get the degrees or any of that shit. I just noticed with my eyeball. It was obvious. You know what I mean? I haven't been monitoring sunrise for fuck's sake. But I know where it's been rising. In my window. And that motherfucker took a leap. I was like, well. And of course the night sky did too, so not a surprise. But yeah, we've been teetering a lot more than what we had in the last. Because for 10 years it was steady. Almost 10 years it was steady. Real steady thing. Never changed. I was like, holy fuck. I was expecting mayhem for like every day for 10 years. I was expecting fucking mayhem. I didn't have any of these answers. You know what I mean? All I had was the fucking moon doing a cartwheel every night. And I was digging for an answer. But yeah, I didn't find them where I was digging. Not until after I started reading the hieroglyphs did even a whole lot of the cuneiform start to make sense because I was getting the base reference for humanity and then comparing it with what I'm looking and being told, and I'm all like, Yeah, it's changed the last few. It's been rocking a little bit more than I've noticed. I mean, I don't look every day. Well, I do. I used to like just sit there and chart my stars. So when I say when I'm looking, I'm just looking. If I'm charting my shit, I'm charting my shit. I haven't charted my shit in years. I got my answer there. I understood. Presented it to the senator. I already know where we're at here. But yeah, in the last 6 years since then, 7 years. Fuck, I'm getting old. I haven't been charting shit. I've been watching it. Sunrise, watching the moon, making sure it keeps rolling. But I haven't done any complex math problems on it. It's moving around too damn much. Fuck it. It is what it is, and that I can't control. That's going to be controlled by the planets out there. And that's what influences our weather, and that's why our weather, everything's been getting stronger and crazier progressively, because go figure, these things, look, when we tilted 10 years ago, these fucking things were 10 years away. You know, they're like a pinpoint in space. Now they're like, they're on our ass. So every little movement they make, our compasses are going to fucking jog, our fucking planet's going to jog. So, yeah, we're starting to do a little dance, kick your legs up, kind of thing going on lately. Yeah, well, yeah. And then when they do see it, they're like, their first reaction is, nah, it ain't been going on 10 years. Actually, it has. Very fucking much has, actually. Matter of fact, if you go to Dazzle the Cameraman's page and scroll down that motherfucker and start looking at catfish, looking for my name, Catfish Glass, that's my original name. That's my business name. That's on here and everything. That's gone. But he's talking about me. I'm Catfish fucking Glass, man. Yeah, he's got my fucking business name all over them fucking videos talking about field rotation. Way back before I was making videos. He's got pictures. I even made a video with his own video on that one with his own pictures where the fucking moon's doing a fucking cartwheel. He's like, that's not good enough. That's from my camera. I need one from yours. I'm like, really? Really? Is this like, okay. Then John fucking tosses off Oh my God, he starts making it okay for Australia to have a fucking North Hemisphere moon. First time ever. Oh shit. Oh man. I watch the moon all the time. I would have noticed. Well, you might want to start watching it a little closer. Oh shit! Yeah, those are funny. People are funny. I mean, you gotta have fun with it. Because, like I said, man, if somebody come up to me on the street and said, "Did you notice the moon's doing the fucking wax to wane at night?" I'd be like, "No." Well, you know, if I was asleep, but I wouldn't be calling them crazy until I look. I would have to look and watch it. Well, when you talk, I'd be like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" Like, nah, man, it rises and then it set, and then I'd be like, "All right, dude, I'll look," and I'd go look. I'd look. I'd look. And if I sat up all night eating popcorn and my shit and drinking and then the moon never flipped. Oh man, when I saw a cardboard sign dude again, I'd have my own cardboard sign. You fucking crazy! You fucking crazy! But given the circumstances, guess what? You fucking right. How many times you hear that one? Oh my God, you're right, man. The moon is the. Nah, you know, I'm 52. I didn't grow up wanting to tell people the moon's doing cartwheels, but it is. It is. It's not normal. I knew I was right before I ever started pointing. I was like, holy fuck, the moon's upside down. Well, then AOC's fucking lost their minds and they have no idea anything. I don't even know who they are. But for saying that shit, they're fucktards. I mean, you know, I got a short term for that. It's fucktard. I got a long explanation for it too. I could dissect each and every one of those fucking things that they fucking throw at me. But it ain't worth my time. I'm sure you've already done that. That was a lie. Oh yeah. Yeah. They're just little breaks in the dome or something. Little pinpoints God put there. So I need a telescope to see. Is that what they are? God's light shining through the dome of the flat earth. I'm about to punch a flat earther. Oh my God. Who is AOC? Yeah. Who are you talking about, Pollyanna? I'm not familiar with the AOC thing. Oh, well, good. Yeah, I'm glad. I've never heard of this person. Give her the logic. I don't want to hear about it. He won't touch me. I thought I was crazy. Oh, getting anybody to talk about this is tough. So does this AOC? Yeah, I'm going to leave it at AOC. Does she have a big following? Then is she one of these big truther peoples? Oh, that chick. That chick. I know who that is. I know who you're talking about. Who was it that said Guam was going to? Wasn't it Obama said Guam flip over if we had that many ships over there? Some senator said that shit. I don't remember who the fuck it was. Dude. A person saying shit like that in public should end any possibility of them holding any position of power whatsoever. It really should. She said, "What about California?" I don't even think I want to know what she said. How's that? I don't even think I want to know. It definitely should, in my eyes. I'm stunned. It is what it is. Unfortunately, she's there to play a role. I doubt if she believes half of what she says. I mean, that's with all of them. To be honest, that I'm aware of. I mean, they help each other get elected and shit, cross lines, and pass bills, and all kinds of shit. It would piss the average person off. Piss me off. Really fucking. Anyway, that's my synopsis on her. She's a fucktard. And, she's there to play a role. It ain't even. Oh. It ain't even funny. Really. Have yourself a good evening, Miss Raymond. I am going to blow out this jar.
It's turning nasty. People wear potatoes in their hundreds, 4 deep, from 4 in the morning until the afternoon.
I got a nice beer mug in. Did you see my beer mug?
Lying armchairs and cushions upon which people sit.
I like my beer mug.
The shortages worsened after the terrible harvest of 1916. The Germans called it the turnip winter. Many had nothing to eat but cattle. There were 50 food riots that year.
Oh, what days of terror. Everything's in turmoil. There was havoc in town last night. The window panes were smashed in at Cafe Kaiserhof. Angry crowds were shouting outside bakeries and booths. Up at the castle, they cursed the major and the word that shan't repeat. The army came into level.
It's horribly cold. Because the radio stopped moving to the war, it's extremely frigid cold. We're learning how to do Here's information. Schools, theatres and cinemas have all been closed until further notice because of the lack of coal.
The German Navy did nothing to help.
Even if large parts of our battle fleet were lying at the bottom of the sea, it could have accomplished more than it does now, lying well-positioned.
At Wilhelmshaven, people wrote graffiti on the wall.
Dear Fatherland, you may rest assured. The fleets in harbour, safely moored.
Admiral Reinhard Scheer had been ordered not to risk his ships against the full British fleet. But by mid-1916, the pressure to do something was intense. On the 31st of May, Germany's high seas fleet steamed out of Wilhelmshaven, hoping to engage the Royal Navy's battle. But the British were one jump ahead. The men in Room 40 had already decoded Scheer's order. 3 hours before the Germans had even left harbour, the entire British Grand Fleet was on its way to intercept them. Now the world would get the great sea battle. Just it was a fantastic plan. 250 men. Britain's first great leader was in St. Power. It was a fight they had to win. If Germany ended up after World War II, the blockade would be finished. The British Army in Europe cut off, Britain herself open to invasion. Admiral John Jellicoe was, Mr. Churchill said, the only man who could lose the war in an afternoon. Less by armed Germans, British ships were flown quite a very long range. But at just the range was just 5 miles. Our first shot rigged the German destroyer and looked ahead. Shells fell around us, and what the ship seemed to die, it was going around to maybe one ship. At 4:30 p.m., the Sea Ferry was hit by shells and split the ship's left. A horrible sight was first an enormous height double red flame, followed by a great black smoke, and that's just a reddish trail in all directions. Tremendous. Admiral Beatty watched from each of his lines. There seems to be something wrong with our bloody ships. About 7 o'clock, we passed the wreck of a large ship, and at that time we took with the German and later learned was one of ours. It was broken right in two. Bow and stern was sticking up about 50 feet, quite in between. But the British had the Germans outgunned and outnumbered. As evening fell, the German fleet broke off the action. We were in a wreck of death. There was only one way to escape the unfavourable tactical situation. Turn the line about and withdraw the opposite course. We had to get out of this dangerous enemy envelopment. To silent Jack Jellicoe, peering through the fog of battle, it didn't look as though the Germans were running for home, but lulling the British into a trap. If the enemy battle fleet were to turn away from an advancing fleet, I should assume that the intention was to lead us over miles and submarines. So Jellicoe ordered the British to town as well, away from their vulnerable foe. As night fell on the 31st of May 1916, the men in Room 40 tracked the retreating German fleet. They passed its positions on to the Royal Navy, giving Jellicoe a last chance to finish the Germans off. But the Royal Navy failed to catch them, and the German fleet made it home.
During the night, telegrams arrived giving the estimated losses of the English, which are 2 platoons in our favor. The Kaiser was therefore able to announce at breakfast, "We have won a great victory in the North Sea."
This light race, American, is one of the few surfaces Germany ever sent into the North Sea. Their target, not warships, but cargo boats. It's at 20,000 tons, building a large collection of captured food. According to me, we are in immediate defense and required to find out. Captain of the nervous technology. You can imagine what a great moment it was when I had 8 people standing in front of me,
I should stop them all. This works at the German.
There's a whole lot more in there.
German units joined in the war against Allied trade.
Especially with that big fucking
One British admiral was
beer mug in there. Beer glass. Beer glass. I guess that's the big thing now. Anna wants beer glasses. I was like, okay. I can make beer glasses. See, I just made one. Not that one, that was a jar. But I mean, I made a pretty nice sized beer glass.
Realized the effect this would have on world
Okay.
Johnson, who wished once more to discuss the union question. Then we envisaged the Labour forces united against us as the mad dog of the peoples of the world. That would mean the end of Germany.
Welcome back, man.
Germany's admirals were furious.
That's funny.
The submarines were ordered to stick to the old rules of war. They gave warnings of their attacks. They did not attack underwater. They gave merchant crews time to escape. German submarines had 40 million tons in their fleet, but Britain built new ships faster than U-boats could sink them. After being checked by the German blockade, the British economy flourished. The British found victors with a workforce of 78,000 turned out guns, aeroplanes, battleships, and record profit. If Germany was trying to stay there, Britain wasn't. Few ships went by armed traders who carried hidden guns. They looked like easy travel, but when submarines made trips, the few ships would
I like geeky ass shit like this. I can't help myself. This one has some pretty good footage too.
Along the way, immediately joined by a large crowd of guys who were U-41 immediately 3 rounds from 4 fixed car. Throughout the action, steamer continued to fly at American fire.
On the 1st of February 1915, in response to the British blockade, the prices kept up in the air. Declared that all the water around Britain were water, in which any ship, including nuclear, might be sunk. This decision set Germany on a collision course with America. The flight of the Lusitania was the largest, most luxurious liner in the world. It should be carried to the passengers.
They're pissing everybody off now.
There was a background dog within her home.
I am it's 3:30. I'm fixing to go to bed.
On the 1st of May 1915,
As soon as my kiln starts cooling down a little bit more. But yeah, I've got a nice beer mug in there and 2, 3 little jars for tomorrow. Anna wants a beer mug, so I'm gonna make some more beer mugs this week. Probably 3 or 4. We'll see. 3:30. It's fucking late. My eyes. Look at my eyes. My eyes are like, go fight a pillow, motherfucker. It hurts to type. What's my favorite beer? I don't really drink beer. I don't know. I like our Newcastle if it's really, really cold. Like I don't know. Occasionally, I don't like production beers like Weizen. I mean, if I'm going to drink a beer, it's going to have some flavor to it. Or I'm not going to drink a beer. I don't waste my taste buds on nasty shit. So by the nature of it, it's going to probably be a darker beer. Now, I have, on a really, really hot day, been known to drink a Corona. But the Corona has to have a whole lime wedge squeezed up in that motherfucker and shook up, because it don't taste good unless you I would prefer a mojito. Oh yeah, with lime. Absolutely. Not lemon, lime. It's a thing. I don't know.
The crowd was muttering, growling, and the shop was dark.
But the Corona's got to be cold, the lime's got to be fresh, and it's got to be hot out. I ain't drinking. I'm picky. Unless I'm in Tijuana. I don't think I go there anymore. It's changed. Fat Tire's okay ish. Whiskey in the winter. I drank rum. I guess a mojito is rum too. What do you think about that? I guess I like rum. Go figure. I like mojitos. They are fucking good though. Just easy to make. It is definitely a hot day drink. And most of the time, the winter time, I'll just take the spicy rum. But in the summer, I would like mojitos. Those are nice and fresh. Not like a bottled mojito, but a real mojito, like rum over ice with a little bit of crushed mint. That's the shit. Yep, lady on the bottle of the rum. She my spicy. And the Calypso rum. They sold out of it though at the liquor store. I guess it was a good deal. I said I shouldn't have told nobody. She laughed. She knows I don't drink. She sells me all my liquor. Yeah, I like mojitos. Just a little bit of rum over some ice with crushed mint. It's a beautiful creation. It's a Cuban thing. I used to live in Florida. Long time ago. All right, folks, I gotta get to bed. I'm tired. Y'all have a good day. Here in a few hours, I gotta get on the road, so I probably won't see you till tomorrow. Have a good day. Have a good night. Depending on where you are in the world. I am going to my pillow. It is now 3:32. Y'all have a good night, and you can count on one thing. My pillow and I will be attached for a while.